إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستغفره ونستعينه ونستهديه ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وخليله اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. عباد الله، أوصيكم ونفسي المقصرة أولا بتقوى الله، فاتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. ثم أما بعد. All praises are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most gracious, the most merciful, and the best of his peace and blessings shall be bestowed upon his beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and upon those that follow his footsteps in the best of manners. يقول ربنا عز وجل في سورة طه في قصة فرعون, the famous story of Musa عليه وعلى رسولنا الصلاة والسلام and Fir'aun. When Musa went to Fir'aun to deliver the message, he asked him, قال فمن ربكما يا موسى. Fir'aun asked Musa and his brother Harun, he said, who is your Lord, O Musa? Musa عليه السلام said, قال ربنا الذي أعطى كل شيء خلقه ثم هدى. In a very important statement, Musa alayhi wa ala rasulina sallallahu said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or my Lord is the one that created everything. Everything. All creations. And after creation, ثُمَّ هَدَى. And he gave every creation the means of guidance. He guided them all, meaning he gave them the means of guidance. Guidance to what? Indeed, someone will say guidance to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But then we will ask ourselves a question. What kind of guidance? And how does it work? Is everybody guided? Does guidance mean, as we all know, a clear instruction? The clear instructions that come in a book, Al-Quran Al-Kareem, Sunnah, and Nabawiyyah Al-Musharrafah? Does clear guidance mean people delivering the message? Parents teaching their children? Our respected shuyukh telling us what to do and what not to do? Indeed, this is an important means of guidance. But there is another extremely important tool of guidance, if you will, that we need to shed the light on, inshaAllah, today. A tool that's extremely important. A tool that might make a huge difference in you, in your children's life, and even in your life. What is this tool? In a famous hadith, where Rasulullah ﷺ, when he went through the Isra and Mi'raj, in the hadith al-Isra, يقول رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أتيت بإناءين. I was given two containers. أحدهما لبن والآخر فيه خمر. In one of the containers there was milk, and and the other one had alcohol, liquor. فقيل لي خذ أيهما شئت. And I was told, pick one of the containers, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. فأخذت اللبن فشربته. I took the container that's full of milk and I drank from it. فقيل لي هديت الفطرة أو أصبت الفطرة. Then he was told when he picked the milk over the liquor, over the alcohol, he was told, you were gifted with al-fitra. That's the key word for today's khutbah. أما إنك لو أخذت الخمر غوت أمتك. If you had chosen the alcohol, your ummah, your nation would have gone astray. So here Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam presented with two drinks, khamr and milk. And he naturally chose milk. Then he was told, هديت الفطرة أو أصبت الفطرة. You were gifted with the fitra, or you reached al-fitra. This is the fitra. If you had chosen something else, your ummah, your nation would have gone astray. Another hadith. And Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu ardah, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, الفطرة خمس أو خمس من الفطرة الختان والاستحداد ونتف الإبط وتقليم الأظافر وقص الشعر. In this hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us more about this fitra. What is this fitra? What is this fitra that because Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had it straight, we will not go astray? Very important to understand. In the following hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, there are 5 things from fitra. Trimming your mustache, and it's all about cleanliness. Cleaning your body, trimming your mustache, clipping your nails. It's all from fitra. What is al-fitra? If we relate the fitra to these 2 ahadith, we will realize that there's a little bit of a different meaning than what we used to when we hear hadith, كل مولود يولد على الفطرة, and we will get to it. Where people say fitra is al-Islam. Fitra, our instinct, our fitra is our deen. But we really need to realize that that's not really the answer. Because a deen, Islam, needs to be delivered as a message. And it needs to be learned. It's not built in. You're not built in with the do's and don'ts, with the haram and the halal. And unfortunately, you see a lot of people, and even parents, will treat their kids as if they have built-in codes and built-in rules of Islam. They assume that, why don't you do this? No, Islam needs communication. Needs to be delivered, needs to be communicated. The fitra is something else. The fitra, as we see from the hadith, in the first hadith, there are 2 things that were presented to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, milk and khamr. And if you look at them, the hadith said, if you had chosen khamr, your ummah would have gone astray. That means, because you chose halib or leban or milk, your ummah is going to be on the right path. So the right path and the wrong path is the difference between right and wrong, good and bad, or better yet, harm and benefit, which is the basis of our legislation in Islam, is harm and benefit. The khamr is harmful. No one denies that it's harmful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that it has both إثم كبير ومنافع للناس وإثمهما أكبر من نفعهما. There's both harm and benefit, but there's more harm in it. And we know milk is beneficial. We look at the second hadith about the 5 things from fitra. It all has to do with your hygiene and cleanliness. What is this? If you don't do it, you'll get harmed. Disease, sickness. But if you keep your cleanliness, your hygiene, then it's benefit. So it seems like what Rasulullah is telling us here, things that have to do with harm and benefit. If you do the right thing, do it because it's beneficial and stay away from the harmful stuff. We go back to Surah Taha, in the continuation of the story of Bani Israel. When Sayyidina Musa was able to leave with Bani Israel, there was a person called the Samiri, as we all know, who built عجلا جسدا له خوار, who built a small cow, and this cow was worshipped by Bani Israel. When Musa ﷺ came back, he asked Harun, why did you let them do this? Harun ﷺ gave them an important message. So this is Bani Israel being delivered with the prophet, coming out of the atrocities and the brutalities of Fir'aun, but they made a choice that led them astray. They decided to worship a statue. Harun alayhi salam, when he was discussing the situation with them, blaming them for what they did, he brought out a very important point. He said, أَفَلَا يَرَوْنَ أَلَا يَرْجِعُ إِلَيْهِمْ قَوْلًا وَلَا يَمْلِكُ لَهُمْ ضَرًّا وَلَا نَفْعًا. Didn't you, or didn't they, notice that what you're doing has absolutely no harm and benefit for you? Didn't you use your harm and benefit analysis to help you make your decision on worshiping a piece of gold? Put the whole thing together, you would realize clearly that from Allah's mercy upon us humans, that He gave us a built-in mechanism that helps you distinguish between harm and benefit. And harm or benefit are the basis of our deen. So if you would think about it, if you're walking in a jungle and you see a lion coming, running towards you, would you run towards the lion and give it a hug? No. Because naturally, you would feel that there's something wrong by this image. There's harm coming towards me. You might have never ever seen a lion before, but the look is enough. Naturally, when you see a baby, would you think of this baby as something harmful and decide to run away from it? Or would you immediately feel that your heart is getting filled with mercy and good feelings and would want to approach the baby and hold the baby? This is why we immediately smile when we see children. Because naturally, we feel that it's not harmful. So same thing, this built-in mechanism that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us, that's called Al-FITRA, becomes an extremely important tool for us to navigate through the halal and haram, and for us, even for our children, which becomes even more important, because for the children that don't have enough Islamic knowledge, what would help them navigate through halal and haram? The idea of harm and benefit. So how is the idea, how is fitra, the idea of harm and benefit, and fitra related to Islam? The beauty here is, Islam and every religion revealed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a natural fit to that fitra, the nature that we have. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us. And He gave us this natural instinct that's called fitra. And when He sends you the second part of the guidance, so that was the first part of the guidance, so you may protect yourself from everything harmful. And then He gives you a religion, which applies to all religions, that will even guide you more towards the benefit and help you push away from anything harmful. So if you have the right instinct and you follow the right decision, you live in peace. Because you're doing what your instinct is telling you to do. There is a beautiful match between your inside and your outside. And this is why you feel people, a lot of people, that just follow their desires in life, going against the instinct. This is why they're always depressed. There's an internal fight. There's an internal strain because their inside is not matching their outside. Their choices in life, led by their desires, are not matching with their fitrah. So they're always tired. And they're always unhappy. And this is why, when you hear Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam telling us, الإثم محاك في صدرك وكرهت أن يطلع عليه أحد. What is the sin? If we want to define sin. Sin is something, is an act that you do. However, when you do it, there's something in your heart that tells you, I don't want anybody to see me. I don't want anybody to know what I'm doing. And even in the worst of conditions, you do not see people cheating others openly. As a matter of fact, if they want to cheat you on a product, if they're mixing water with milk and they're telling you this is pure organic milk, they will not do it in front of you. Because naturally we reject this act. Moreover, in another hadith, Rasulullah ﷺ also told us, البر مطمئنت إليه النفس. البر, the good thing to do, is what your heart feels comfortable with. So there's this element of matching religion to the sound fitrah, and I say sound fitrah for a reason, is when you do the right thing, you feel it in your heart. And if you, la qaddar Allah, approach a wrong thing, you feel that you're doing something wrong. So your fitrah will help you navigate through the good and the bad and the right and the wrong, through realizing what's beneficial and what's harmful to you. And then when we know that everything that we're ordered to do in Islam is for your benefit and the benefit of the group and the masses, and everything we're asked not to do is because it's harmful to you as an individual and to the community, it will start making sense. So imagine if our children are taught Islam this way. First of all, their fitrah is being developed properly, knowing that everything is harmful we need to stay away from, and everything is good we need to do, and it's natural. They're not going to resist that. Then when you tell them Islam says this, then yes, it makes sense. The interesting part is I was talking about this topic to the children in the school here, and I asked them, what is the definition of good and bad for you? And most of the children said, it's whatever my mom tells me. And it's a good sense for the children to say, I'm doing this because I'm pleasing mother and father, or when they grow up, I'm pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a good sense, but it's dangerous. Because it's not relating directly to their inner guidance system. You're not activating their natural system. However, if this kid was clearly told or trained to look for harm and benefit, it will be a lot more effective. Because imagine if one day this kid decided to rebel. I'm doing it because I'm pleasing my parents. I don't want to please my parents anymore. I'm doing it because I'm pleasing XYZ. I don't want to please anybody anymore. I want to please myself. Because guess what? We are living in a society that focuses on what? Pleasing yourself. It's all about you. Are we playing the game right? The society is teaching the children that it's all about them and their desires. And we're teaching them Islam is pleasing me, and it's pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's pleasing Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and it's not about them. We're going to lose the battle. However, when we activate their fitrah and teach them it's about you, your harm and your benefit, then they will make the right choices. Then when they're faced with a situation where you're not around them to guide them, which is a lot, when they're faced with a situation when they feel, I want to care about myself, I don't care about what my parents told me, then they remember that the harm and benefit is about them. It's focused on them, because Islam is focused on the individual as well. Then they will use this tool, and then inshallah they'll be protected. And then inshallah they will not go astray. But we also need to know that this fitrah, it does not stay sound on its own. This fitrah is very vulnerable. This fitrah could change. Especially in a very open society where you have a lot of means to influence people's decision and understanding of good and bad and harmful and beneficial. Especially when we live in a society where there are groups of certain interest would want to convince you that the harmful is beneficial and that the beneficial is harmful. Because there are a lot of products out there. We know they're harmful. But no one dares to talk about the harm. They will talk to you about the benefit. This is why, as a sales technique, for those of you in sales, first thing you discuss is features and benefits. Talk to you about the benefits. Because in the science of marketing, what grabs your attention as a human being is your benefit and what kind of harm you want to avoid. So if everything out there that's harmful is introduced as beneficial, do you think the kids will end up realizing the difference between harm and benefit? Even for us as grown-ups, it's going to be a much difficult task. The sound hearts, the sound fitrah will make sound decision. A great story on a Sahabi called ibn Tamimi. A great Sahabi who lived 190 years. And he only, when did he reach Islam, or when did Islam reach him? At the age of 180. 180 years living outside of Islam. However, 180 years of sound fitrah. And we need to know that in Arabia, there's no significant civilizations. I mean, you read history, you see, the place where Islam was revealed is a place with no significant civilizations and deviations from human nature. Very simple. Living on the sand, you and nature. Why? Because that was the best group to receive the deen of fitrah. There were no deviations to begin with that will reject Islam. The only deviations were the ones that wanted power, and they had conflict with them being equal to everybody else. So ibn Tamimi, when he heard about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam at the age of 180, and he was called the wise man of Arabia. He was a man that loved to serve people. He had a good fitrah. He heard about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said, I want to go see him. What's about this man? So his people told him, no, we'll go, you stay here, you're our leader, it was the king of his tribe, and we'll go find out. What do you want us to ask him? He goes, ask him 3 questions. Man anta wa ma ant wa fima atayt. Who are you, and what are you, and what is your message? They go to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and they ask the question. Question number 1, who are you? Our Prophet ﷺ replied, Ana Muhammad ibn Abdullah. This is my name, Muhammad ibn Abdullah. What are you? He said, Ana Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then they asked him, what's your message? And he recited salawat rabbi wa salamuhu alayhi. إن الله يأمركم بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي. This is my message. They said, repeat it. These are good words. How did they know these are good words? In it, Rasulullah ﷺ is telling us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ordering you, this is my message, is asking you for justice. Is asking you for perfection, to do everything you do in the best way and best manner. Is asking you for ita'id al-qurba, to connect and maintain the connection with your family, and to take care of your family. These are good things. So people with good sound hearts and sound fitra will say, this is amazing. What else? He is asking you not to. ينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي, to stay away from obscenity, to stay away from things that are rejected by the commons, to stay away from doing someone injustice. Allahu Akbar. They took the message, they went back to the Sahabi. What did he say? As soon as he heard the message, he said, this is the right thing to do. Be the first one to follow Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. How did he make that judgment? Because his fitra was sound. And Islam fell on his fitra perfectly and matched his fitra perfectly. You will make the right decisions when you have the right fitra. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله ولكم فاستغفروه لا يفوز المستغفرون. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Last point, my dear brothers and sisters, on the fitrah. As important and amazing this idea is, to help us feel comfortable that we have something internal that will help us and guide us through the rough times. But I need to tell you that it is very difficult to use our fitrah right now. Because our fitrah is being tampered with the amount of intense attacks, if you will, on our brains. From media, from businesses, from movies, and I keep saying it, Disney movies for our children. What do they do to our children? They're just innocent movies. No, my dear brothers and sisters. They destroy the fitrah of your children. It literally destroys the fitrah of your children. They don't know the right from wrong. They don't know the good from bad. They don't know the harm from benefit. Because that's what they saw on movies. When they watch it over and over and over and over, when we're exposed to all the media and all the communications and all the social media, it's destroying our fitrah. And we really need to protect it. We need to be strong about it. Our jobs as parents, number one job, protect the fitrah first and then teach Islam second. Because if you teach Islam and the fitrah is destroyed, well, guess what? They're not going to receive it well. They're not going to do what Aktham ibn Sayfi did and said, that's the right thing, let me follow it. You don't need to convince me, I'm sold. Why don't some people do that? Because their fitrah is not sound. And on the other hand, why would some people receive one message? Wallahi, I know a person that accepted Islam because he saw how Islam was merciful with animals and he loved animals. That was enough for him to match his fitrah. Done deal. But if the fitrah is tampered with, our job becomes harder. When the fitrah is sound, you can set your kids on your own and they know how to navigate. The least that they will do is they will push everything back. So when they're young, you teach them, this is right and this is wrong, this is bad and this is good. Why? Because this is harmful to you and this has benefits to you. Harm and benefit. they'll become strong about it. And if we don't do that, our job will become much, much harder, especially that even Islam has a message and a religion, unfortunately, as we know, it's being misrepresented. You got ISIS, you got God knows whom, you got this person talking about Islam, you got a lot of means that distorting Islam as the deen of fitra. So imagine, the fitra is being destroyed, and Islam is being demonized. What else is left for us? Islam is not going to become an easy choice for our children. I'm just talking about our children right now, guys. Islam is being demonized and their fitrah is being destroyed, and we're looking at it. So I ask you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to pay good attention to the fitrah of your children. Help them to keep a sound fitrah. Find alternatives to the movies and the shows that they watch that are destroying their fitrah. And once that is done, it will be much easier for us to teach them Islam, and be much easier for all of us, inshallah, as it was narrated in the hadith, we, inshallah, will never go astray. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enlighten our hearts and our minds with the right fitrah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us, protect our children, and protect all the weak ones across the globe. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us His love and the love of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to shower us with His mercy. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us and protect us all. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم صل عليه في الأولين وصل عليه في الآخرين وصل عليه في الملأ الأعلى يوم الدين. إن الله يأمركم بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله يذكركم واستغفروه يغفر لكم والله يعلم ما تصنعون.